Hey everyone, I finished watching the next episode of Street Sharks, Sky Sharks. It kind of makes sense this time, the title. Let's see, Benz is working on some new equipment for the Sharks. Jab gets a jetpack, Streaks has this little mini jet thing. So anyway, the episode starts off with, let's see, they're watching the news, and there's something about rolling power outages in the city, and they don't know what's causing it. And then there's a thing where they found out it's all these wires have mysterious teeth marks in them, and they're blaming it on the sharks. So the sharks go out to see what's going on, and they see there's a new mutant, Reptile, an electric eel mutant, and he's the one biting through the wires and absorbing all the electricity into this backpack thing he has. So then they get into a brief fight with Reptile. Then Reptile leaves and he goes to Paradigm's lab. And at Paradigm's lab, we see a bunch of flashbacks that show his origin. The manager guy from Land's End Hotel, Mr. Cunnyworth. It turns out this guy was how was it? He was all ticked off at the sharks for destroying his lab. I mean, Slash, Slopster, and Killamari destroy the lab too, or the hotel. They destroyed it too, but he doesn't think about that. And when, let's see, so anyway, he goes to Paradigm. He was there last time, and he's talking to Paradigm about he knows who Rox is and where Rox came from. And in this episode, it shows more of their conversation. And there's a part where Mr. Cunnyworth says that I've donated my body to your scientific endeavors or something. And Paradigm's like, why should we wait for your untimely demise? And then he takes Mr. Cunnyworth down this elevator to his lab. He sticks him in a tube and mutates him with an electric eel. And the guy just goes right along with it. Alright. Some of the people in Street Sharks' universe are kind of dumb. So anyway, he names this new mutant Reptile, and let's see. Oh yeah, back at Shark Central. Oh, and for some reason the autocorrect keeps spelling Benz's name wrong. Sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it changes it to Bands. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, Benz and Jab are trying out the jetpack, and Streaks' little mini jet. Ripster and Slamu are looking into why Paradigm has been stealing electricity. Let's see. They go out to patrol the city for Reptile, and oh, then there's a funny line I've always loved. Streaks is searching for Reptile on this little radar thing, and he sees a little dot moving around, and he says, round and round she goes, when it stops, I'll break its nose. Love that. There's a couple of lines in Street Sharks I really like. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. There's a line in another episode Jab had. I don't know if it's one that we already had or not, where he's saying, you know, when I was human, I would always clean my plate. Now as a shark, I just eat it. I love it. So anyway, let's see, Reptile attacks Streaks. Some kids show up in a car, and Reptile smashes a power line that falls down on top of them. There's a big fight with Streaks, and the other sharks show up. They save the kids. Reptile retreats, and there's a really weird bit in the animation here. Let's see, when Reptile attacks Streaks, he bursts out of the ground like the sharks do when they swim through the ground. Anyway, he bursts up through the road, and when he leaves, they just play that in reverse. So he zips back into the ground, and the road reassembles itself. Okay. There's a lot of weird animation in this episode. Like, for the most part, the animation is fine. The designs of the sharks look really good at times, but sometimes they're really stiff. There's a bit towards the beginning when, let's see, two of them are running, and their bodies are just completely stationary while only their legs are animated, and it's really, really awkward. So then, let's see, Reptile retreats, and then, oh yeah, Jab is tracking Reptile, and he tracks him right into a government lab. And Jab is in his jetpack right outside the lab, and they apparently catch him on this radar thing inside, and they're like, we got a bogey, better blow it up, and then they shoot a bunch of lasers at Jab, and this distracts them from what Reptile is doing. He breaks in, rips open the wall, pulls out this little egg ball thing, and is like, This is the supercomputer. And then Jab breaks in, he's trying to fight with Reptile, and then Slash and Slopster show up in their helicopter. They get Reptile out of there, and then there's a big dogfight in the sky with the sharks. And Slopster actually gets quite a few lines here, and they're not all recycled, which was pretty surprising because for the last couple of episodes, he doesn't have any like original lines. It's all just recycled dialogue. I don't know why here he has new lines, but whatever. So anyway, let's see. The Soviets get away with the supercomputer, and the sharks capture Reptile and turn him into the police. Oh, and we get to see that police detective guy from, I think from one of the first episodes. He trusts the sharks, but he makes it clear that a lot of other people don't, and that the sharks should leave before they show up. Oh, and there's a funny bit where the sharks have Reptile in this cage at the police station, and the guy's saying, yeah, this was made to hold, and he looks at the sharks just awkwardly, and that's a neat little bit. So then, oh yeah, the sharks go to Humongo Burger to celebrate, and we get a recycled shot from the other episode where they went to Humongo Burger. And then there's a really weird bit. Let's see, Slash and Slopster go back to Paradigm's lab, they give him the supercomputer, and I guess the episode is running short, because there's like just a montage of scenes of Paradigm creating various mutants while creepy music plays over it. It's kind of neat with the creepy music added. It's really weird though, since it just kind of freezes the episode. We have like this overlaid shot of Paradigm's face just over all of it, and okay, that was weird. So anyway, at the very end, we get a teaser shot of what he was planning to create using the supercomputer, and we see this big, like, gold robot metal thing with big sharp shark teeth, and we don't know what it is yet. But that was really cool, and I remember seeing this shot as a kid and wondering, ooh, what is that thing? So, let's see. It was a good episode. Let's see. Looking through my notes. Oh, there was a weird recurring animation error with the eye color of the sharks. Sometimes their eyes would be colored in black, and other times they would be colored in gray. It was really weird. I don't know how that happened. And then there was another weird story point that never really went anywhere. Reptile makes a few like references to his previous life. Let's see. When he's fighting with Streaks, I think, he says, oh, what was it? What goes around comes around. And Streaks is like, am I supposed to understand what you're talking about? And then there's another part where I think he says something about karma, referencing they destroyed his hotel, so now he's going to take them out. But it never really leads anywhere. Like, I thought eventually it would lead to the sharks, there'd be some kind of revelation that the sharks realize, oh, that's the manager of the hotel, but nope, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, there's a thing in one of the Punisher comics, or the Spider-Man comic he shows up in, where Jigsaw, his main nemesis, shows up, and he's talking about, like, how he's going to get his revenge on Punisher, and anyway, they defeat Jigsaw, and they're like, do you know this guy? And Punisher's like, Oh, now I remember, it's in Gargoyles, when the hunter, he confronts Demona. Demona removes his mask, and you see the hunter with the scars Demona made across his face, and he's like, take a good look, monster. Do you recognize whatever? You recognize me? And she's like, no. That's kind of what this reminds me of, is, like, do the sharks even know Mr. Cunnyworth? Like, they weren't staying at the hotel, were they? Rox was. They probably barely know him. They were just going to visit Rox. So if Reptile did just flat out say, I'm the guy from the hotel, they'd be like, alright. Also, they know they weren't the ones responsible for the hotel falling apart. It was the Soviets. So anyway, that's this episode. It was a good one. Looking forward to the next one with the Mecho Sharks, the robot that Paradigm was working on. So that'll be fun. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.